Hello, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness. As a warning, this is a mature game and explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are going to be available on YouTube after the game, so you can always go over there and fast forward to the part that you missed, or you can skip ahead to the next episode. So, first off, we'd like to thank our sponsors. And first up is Mikhail Artoria of Artoria Designs, who creates these beautiful dice boxes. Please visit him on Instagram, and we will have that in the chat. And throw him some money, and he can get you one of these dice boxes, which are amazing. And they smell great. Then we have Martlet Games. Martlet Games is a collective of TTRPG veterans ready to work for you, from actual play production to tabletop game development. They're a one-stop shop for all your creative needs. Investing in the World of Darkness fan community is what helps keep channels like this one online and thriving. They greatly appreciate any love you can share with them on their Patreon and various media platforms. And Dogmite Games. Dogmite Games is the best gaming company you've never heard of. They combine craftsmanship with artistry to create truly unique pieces of functional art for your game. From dice boxes and rolling trays to fully sculpted Valhalla screens, each piece is created on site in their workshop in Michigan by a devoted team of craftsmen. And I have the Gangrel one, because Gangrel's the best clan. You cannot believe that, and you can be very comfortable in your being wrong. Yeah, I said what I said. Now, let's introduce the vampires. Joanna is unable to make it this particular evening, so we'll throw her stuff up in the chat over there. And let's skip over to Prince.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet, and I am playing your Seneschal, the Jacado, Banu Hakim, terrible decision maker.
That sounds accurate. Next up is Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike. He, him, and in this corner, weighing in at 225 pounds, the maker of kings, I've lost my line, I forgot that. I was going to say something about the master of ceremonies, there it is. The charming, eloquent, apparently not tonight, but anyway, Mordecai, who's definitely a Toreador. Stop asking questions.
Is he, though? I'm going to take that as a no. Sarah?
Hi, my name is Sara, and I'll be playing Prince Jude Duncan, Prince of Vancouver. Now the real work begins, and she, her for the both of us. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to have to get that overlay changed.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll contact our people and get.
We could do like status points, like Star Trek pip pins.
Also, whoever wants to buy my crown, just
I'll take that under advisement. Cliff?
Happy time zone, folks. My name's Cliff. I'm playing Don Duran Giovanni. Duran Giovanni tonight, the simple tailor who has got simple plans and looking forward to a simple, relaxed, and quiet future. Our pronouns are he, him. And yeah, don't need no position because never mind, you'll find out.
Sorry, I missed that. Did you say you listened to Simple Plan?
Yeah. It's been a while.
That's pretty much what I got.
Favorite from the 80s.
So when last we saw our intrepid coterie, they were taking over the Brinship. You can check that out on YouTube over there. But they announced that Jude was taking praxis of the city of Vancouver, and it went semi-smoothly,
Sideways.
give or take.
Sideways adjacent.
A little bit off the rails, but a little bit on the rails. So, now we're going to fast forward to the next night, and I'm going to get a rouse check from everyone.
Ooh.
Thumbs down from Duran, thumbs up from Jude, thumbs down for Ja, thumbs down for Mordecai.
What is going on?
Wow, this is a
We're
flip.
doing all the
from-
work.
Yeah,
The
this is-
prince gets a pass.
This is a flip from what we usually do. So,
For sure.
Ja, you're gonna wake up to the cacophony of voices. Hey, well, yeah, we should eat someone. Now that you're seneschal, we can just grab a whole bunch of people and we can eat them. Like, you're not gonna go to the Elysium, are you? Because there's no violence there. You don't want non-violence. You want to kill people.
Things have changed.
Have they? Really? Come on. This is us here. Yeah, this is us. We're definitely all here. Yep. This is us.
We can't just go around eating people anymore. We have to be strategic.
Have you met you?
Piece of
Yeah. This
brimstone
whole turning
in my
over
ear
a
or
new
something.
leaf thing is very difficult.
Right. Okay.
Less than ideal. So for now, you won't be getting any more company.
Nope, don't like that. And I don't
Unless
think
they're
you do
true.
either.
I really, really hate those fuckers.
That could work. Mordecai, what you hear is Mordecai,
Nev,
it's time for you to eat someone.
I just woke up. Give me a minute. I'm kind of busy. Got things to do. I have politics to play now.
Yeah, I know. That won't stop you from eating someone, though.
I'll eat the prince.
Fair enough.
Okay.
That's
Tastes great, less filling. It's the Tremere clan now.
and Duran. What you hear approximately 3.5 hours before Mordecai rolls out of bed.
Wow.
Duran,
See, Padre, what can I do for you on this wonderful evening?
time for you to eat someone.
See, quite
So,
likely. It has been a little bit. I have been subsisting on the very fine vintages that come from privilege. But see, having someone live and warm. I will get to that tonight, I think. I have a lot of work to do, but I can slip in a snack.
I think you should eat someone before you get to that Elysium for whatever reason you're going there.
I don't know. I think dealing with certain people at the Elysium with a little bit of hunger keeping me on my toes could give me just the right edge. Besides, the snacking possibilities at Elysium are much more satisfying than would be found in just any little old club. Though I might stop by the club and have a quick sip.
I suppose.
See, next time we talk, do remind me to speak with you in the real world, because we have to continue on some direct plans with respect to Resica and now Francis as well. And you, the sire in my head, is a bit of an idiot.
Well,
You're kind of very focused. There are many railway tracks in my head, but for you, there is only one station.
well, you should probably know. It's your head.
Oh, see, And I do try to keep it dust-free and full of comfy pillows for you.
And that's the last you hear of that. However, there is something. It's about an hour after you wake up, Duran. You or you've done the regular calls, double
Phone
checking
calls and
ledgers,
business
etc.
and
Yeah. You then get a phone call.
Well, as I don't have my fancy phone prop handy, I will just have to use this. Si, ciao.
It's an Italian number.
Ah, ciao. It's Duran Giovanni.
Yes, Mr. Giovanni.
See, that's what they said.
Calling on behalf of Alejandro Giovanni, who's, as you know, is kind of the district area person for your
Bueno, si.
area. They wish to congratulate you on having a member of your coterie attain multiple members of your coterie attain various positions of status.
See, it is not the plan that we had when I arrived here some time ago, but it is the plan that developed, and I am very, very pleased with where it has gone. I hope that Alejandro is also pleased with the business connections and the growth that the family has seen in Vancouver in the area over this time. And I would like to assure him and the rest of the board that the growth will continue.
That is why I am calling.
Ah, bueno.
You are to announce to your prince, the prince that's in this area. I'm not even sure how exactly we're supposed to say it, being members of the family, that you will be the independent representative to the prince.
Ah, it is to be made official. I am honored. Please do let Alejandro know that I am very privileged and I am very honored with this responsibility, and I will partake of it. And the words fail me for the moment, which, as you have no doubt, is very strange to happen. But I will undertake this strange. With the most serious mien that I am able to.
Of course you do. Well, I believe you are to be attending an Elysium at some point soon.
See.
I will leave you to it.
Something that will be happening much. But before you go, if you could pass on to Alejandro that the retainer that was placed with me, Resica, my sire's retainer, has been invaluable in my time here. And it is my humble opinion that her embrace should be fast-tracked, let us say. That she is very deserving of it. And while I know that I am not the one to make the decision, I think it is an appropriate reward. We have also regained Francis from his trials and tribulations. And I will be employing him myself. I would like him seconded to my staff as an assistant rather than taken back to Venice. I am sure that because of his time in this city, I would find his knowledge invaluable.
He will be
merely a suggestion, just a suggestion.
He will be likely sent back to Venice for a short spell, debriefing. You know how it is.
See, I do understand that.
And then likely return to you, as he was the Giovanni representative in the city at the time, under the care of I believe it was, no, it doesn't matter now, they're gone.
Bueno. I will take care of him until his tickets arrive to return to Venice, and then I will ensure that there is a place for him here should it be decided that he may return.
Indeed. Have a good rest of your evening.
Grazie, you as well. And thank you very much for this very wonderful news.
Indeed. And then the
Ciao.
line goes dead.
Well, that is interesting. And I just kind of lean out of down the hallway. And Rathika, tonight I think the cashmere wool, Hugo Boss. Not too fancy, but just fancy enough.
I will prepare it immediately.
Grazie.
And Jude, since you're the first one waking up, we're going to skip over to you next.
Sure. So I imagine I returned to the chantry after okay. Just making sure. So upon waking that night, Jude would want to talk to Gretchen.
Okay.
So I want to take her to like a more private area of the chantry, like where no one's hanging out, wherever that may be, where nothing's going on.
Yeah, there's a few like kind of separate rooms in the chantry. One of these
great
probably do.
Perfect. So Jude will take Gretchen into one of these rooms and just be like, sit down, please.
Okay.
So I'm the prince now. Thank you for the support last night. I don't mean to get all serious and deadly on you right now, but thus far you have not really wanted to tell me a lot about yourself or your relationships or your connections that you have.
Yep.
And I understood that for a while. But now I'm the prince, and I need to know who is close to me. So this is the last time I am going to ask you to give me this information. And if you do not, I will take steps to get that information, whether you like it or not. So this is your opportunity.
Well, there really isn't any information to tell.
I mean, where are your parents? Do you have siblings? Do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or partner? Do you, like, who do you know? Who do you care about?
I just moved out here after my parents died.
From where?
From Toronto.
Okay, so you came out here to Toronto after your parents died. You just wanted a fresh start?
Yeah.
No siblings?
No.
Didn't make any close friends here?
Not really. Just got the job recently. And we all know how that went down.
Right. Anything else you think I should know going forward about you that could complicate any of the things I'm trying to do?
I don't think so. But I'd have to know what it is that you're trying to do.
Just in the general sense, my duties as prince, dividing the territory, politicking, like these are the things that I'm doing.
I don't think so.
And Jude sort of like looks down for a second and then looks back up at Gretchen. Okay, I am going to assume then you've told me everything I would potentially need to know about what's going on with you in your life. And Gretchen, I'm going to need you to do one thing for me, though, going forward besides this.
What's that?
Be a little bit more sure of yourself. You're a reflection of me, so I want you to have confidence conducting yourselves wherever I may go and wherever you may go.
I suppose.
Holy. Okay. Great. Well, I'm glad we got this sorted out. So blank slate going forward.
Sure.
And Jude gets up and walks out of the room.
Okay.
Did I get the Houdini vinyl from Alexander?
Yes.
Okay. Just wondered about that.
You would have dropped it off to the chantry.
Okay. So Jude is probably taking these early evening hours since she's the only one up. She's probably refreshing some of her ritual things, like making the clinging of the insect potion, and then
give me
making yeah.
Let's go with a like an intelligence and occult roll for that.
Sure. Should buy an occult specialty. Man, these dice hate me. I got 2. I'm not gonna push it. It's just a.
So yeah, there'd be like 2 spells kind of ready for whatever you're gonna be doing, like clinging of the insect or whatnot.
Okay, so I'll have 2 of those, and I know I probably can't make it in the time, but I want to start working on another Essence of Air.
Okay.
So just to kind of put that in there. Other than that, she is checking on her own finances. She wants to get, like, I'm trying to, Sarah, as a player, think about what does her financial situation, because she hasn't had, I mean, she has the shop, and I'm assume gets some of those profits, but she's trying to really like take a look at her entire financial landscape to see what's going on, thinking about like opening different bank accounts, investment. She's starting to look up all of that stuff.
Okay. So for that, let's go with an intelligence and finance roll.
I have no dots in finance. I guess I'm gonna get some after this.
Eventually.
I should buy some. Buy some.
Yeah, you'll get around to it.
Googled someone just so I don't have to.
I mean, that's fair.
Can I make Gretchen do it? Can I make her go to accounting school at night?
If you want.
I got 1.
You have money.
Yeah, there's money.
Money can be used for goods and services.
Right. Okay, that's fine. And Jude is writing down a lot of things like analog, like in a little notebook.
Okay.
The names of all the people on that are like proposed to be on the court, making sure she's keeping all these names straight. And she's doing a little last minute study of the Vancouver map. And then after that, I don't know if we're meeting up back at the Elysium or if we're going to Sandwich first. But
it's entirely up to you guys in game. I just work here.
Okay. I think Jude would text the group and say,
Prince Jude.
yeah, right. So Jude would say, okay, everybody just meet there as soon as you're up and have done whatever you need to do.
Where's there?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was back at the is it back at the art gallery that we're meeting the Venture?
Yeah, for the Venture meeting, it would be at the art gallery.
Yes.
Okay. And was that at a certain time?
About 10
I mean,
o'clock.
I imagine 10 o'clock. Okay. And yeah, so Jude says then meet at the art gallery 9:45
And
or
then
earlier.
Duran is going to add to the group text, who is picking Prince Jude up?
Yep, need a ride, crown emoji.
I guess that all depends on when I actually wake up.
So, in general, the way I kind of do it is because we had something back in the old shared universe LARP. It was 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. was basically sundown, just to make things kind of universal across the board.
Right.
For every humanity that you are below 7, it's an extra half an hour that you would have to wait
Oh,
to wake up.
Oh, that's good to know.
Okay, wait, I can do the math. Okay,
A lot.
below 7,
Below 7.
not
Right?
7, but below
7 would have you kind of waking up at about like when the sun basically goes down. And then for
So
every humanity
8 would have you waking up higher than that. 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had 10 humanity, you wouldn't be sleeping, dude. You'd be the vampire with the bags under your eyes.
yeah,
You've achieved
would,
Golconda.
yeah, you would essentially the higher your humanity, the more you can wake up earlier and not suffer penalty.
So 7:30 is my bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So, Ja, let's flip over to you. What is Ja doing when Ja rolls out of bed at about 7?
Ja's probably complaining. Honestly, just getting up like, did I really do this? Did I really take this job? What the fuck was wrong with me? Like, I would be better as like a sheriff or someone who could actually like do shit. But now I have to listen to complaints and stuff. He's just talking in the mirror to himself, just having like a moment. It's like, okay, Usaja, you have this.
Half of the voices are like, "We told you."
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Elysium,
Just get Scourge. It's fine.
And
You
you
can
just
eat people all the
sit.
time.
and let Jude talk. And if Jude fucks up and talks, then you just stick him with the pointy end. And that's your job.
Yeah, but you can't do that in Elysium, though.
Well, if they die, then no one will know because I'll delete them.
Is that how that works? Really?
Yes. We're gonna get like a pool of laser sharks or something.
Freaking sharks with freaking laser
I
beams.
don't
Yeah,
have a
baby,
job
yeah.
anymore either. What do I do now? Oh, maybe I'll buy out the police. That means I need money, which means I need to steal from someone. Who's criminals? These crypto kids are criminals. I wouldn't feel bad about taking them out of commission and stealing what they have. That's the strategy. Okay, got this job. And Jaws, everything he just told you is exactly his plan. He's like, now he's plotting on how to like, how do I steal money from people who have crypto? Maybe I terrify them. Maybe I take their whole family hostage. I don't know. Whatever works for me to make sure that they don't have anything and I have all of their things. So I bump my resources up.
All right, so let's flip over to Mordecai before we fast forward to the Elysium.
Fine. Wakes up, his usual routine, tops up so that he's not actually hungry.
Well,
Sits and
not-
contemplates the terrarium for a while.
Not entirely hungry.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just out of habit, pulls out his phone, dials his sister's number.
It rings. And rings.
So no answer.
No.
Fine. Hangs up. Goes to check in on sources of family. email or otherwise.
There's
I'm
been a
wondering
few. There's been a few interested parties, and from what you can tell, probably about 3 of them are headed towards Vancouver.
Okay, give them all updates as to what's going on, the new praxis, the new positions. I'm a Toreador. Don't ask. It's all part of my plan.
Sure.
Come on, man. Think Iago. No, not Aladdin. The other one.
Yeah, the Gilbert Gottfried.
No. All right. Don't. At which point you text Neff. Don't send those ones. Send smarter ones. No. All right. Sends a text to Neff to find out if she's coming, and if so, when, etc.
She's
Get
not.
Diana to her, basically get the retainer staff on regular duty, sort of thing. Alexia's handling the society matters. Diana's handling the financial matters. Mercy does not leave my side. And then with South's order, excuse me, does some meditation and focus training down in the dojo, checks the phone, sees the crown emoji. So it begins. Pick up the phone. Dial Jude.
Jude gets a phone call.
Yeah, what's up?
Will you be requiring a ride, Your Majesty?
Yeah, I will. Can you provide one?
Only if you say please. Click.
Please, Mordecai.
I hang up. And hop in the limo over to, I assume, the Chantry.
Yeah.
And wait.
So Jude's got her regular crossbody bag with just like some notebooks and pens, the probably a printed out map, her phone, probably not, and just everything she normally carries, and she looks for Gretchen one last time.
Gretchen she's studying like blood magic stuff in a different area.
Cool. Okay, cool. So I'm content to leave her to that.
Okay.
So I'll just probably send her a quick text and say, just like, be back later.
Okay.
And yeah, I walk outside and get in the limo. I assume I recognize it immediately. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jude will get into the limo. Hello.
Jude. Excuse me.
How are you feeling after last night?
In what regard? We got a lot accomplished.
I'd say. I mean, not often a prince on her first evening has the support of one different supernatural entity and then makes a deal with their greatest enemy. So I'd say quite an accomplishment, in my opinion.
Don't get too cocky. The lupines generally can't be trusted, and they will steamroll us if they see that we've done anything sideways. The fact that the goon decided to parlay, that almost tells me that there's something else going on, that he has his hand tied over, because he doesn't seem to be the type that would actually ask questions before he beat you with a hammer.
And Jude like leans back and puts her hands behind her head and stretches out her legs, which I assume hit the other side with
Kind
her
of a
height.
limo. Do you think I'm driving a regular limousine? Come on, what? Yeah.
Oh, this is a super deluxe limousine. So
yes.
and she says,
I
I'm
purposely
not
didn't buy a helicopter.
Right. I'm not cocky. I'm just focused.
Sure.
And it must have something to do with Pentex. So we need to see what moves they're currently making in Vancouver.
Okay.
Because they must be doing something even more heinous if he's coming to me and shaking my hand.
That's a good point.
So who knows what kind of weird shit they could be up to.
And the Fae showing up is
I was not expecting that. I didn't.
That's protocol, I think. I don't think there's anything untoward towards that, because we're already doing something for them. She's just making some kind of token gesture and throwing her lapdog under the bus in order to do it.
Yeah, he didn't seem to really feel too good being in there.
No. That said, it's interesting that we haven't heard anything from the mages then, technically. I don't know if they even have any kind of organized framework to work around. The mages we've met seem to have had some kind of it made reference to themes of their own familial tokenism. I don't know exactly.
Well, and then there was that really gnarly one that we had to, that was like leeching off the changelings. What?
The ones that were opening the portals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Funny
about
how that
that
went underground really quickly.
I'm sure that something is still afoot. I do remember that I wonder if we might have the contact information of that Tinkerer mage lady. Remember who had those items like the necklace that Duran has, and we had talked to her. Maybe she could tell us something about what's going on with the mages in Vancouver.
I actually have a couple of things that she could help me with, because I didn't bring all of the toys that I procured from that particular place.
And
when we met with her.
Right. And Jude will like lean closer into Mordecai then and say, well, why don't I delegate that to you then? Find out what's going on with the mages.
Not really my bailiwick, but I can see what I can. There's a snake under every rock, so you can always find them if you look hard enough, I guess.
Exactly. And Jude will kind of just chill the rest of the ride.
So let's skip ahead to the Elysium portion of it. Ja, how would you be getting to the Elysium?
My Corolla.
The standard
John drives his regular ass car.
The standard Mordecai park downstairs.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean, my
he's
Corolla? You took
that. Yeah. I'm not taking that car again. I've had enough of it.
How did you get it home?
Huh?
You left it in the parking garage?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Ja doesn't care about these things. Ja's like, all right, I can take the bus back home. I did my showmanship. I wore a suit. Blah blah blah. Now Ja's like, okay, I can go back to normal now. So Ja drives the Corolla, gets out, parks in a normal ass parking spot. Maybe something with a meter even. Uh,
There's a
just
few of
walks
those.
in like, oh, go ahead.
There's a few of those spots around where the art gallery is.
Yeah. They usually let you pay by your cell phone. That's fine.
Yeah.
And he just walks into Elysium like, Seneschal, get the fuck out of the way. I have to speak with the prince.
Basically the only one that's there at this particular time, other than there's a few people milling about in the actual like art portion of it.
Oh, yeah.
But you figure they're probably Toreador. There's the pile of clothing that's there.
Oh, I'm okay to Frank. I'm okay to him. And it's like, okay.
Seneschal.
Keeper. Do those clothes start to stink after a while? Do you have to like get new ones? Do you go to Goodwill or something?
Occasionally.
To refresh your wares.
Well, there's also, we don't sweat, so.
Yeah, but like the outside leaves a certain funk.
Only if I go down in the sewers, which I hardly ever do.
Good for you. The sewers suck.
Yeah, it's kind of. But with this pile of clothing, you'd be surprised how many Toreador just stop and stare.
Well, sure, great. You're my favorite laundry basket. I'll talk to you later, Frank.
Seneschal. And where are you
Now
going?
Walk in. I'm looking for Jude.
Yeah, okay. So, Duran, walking or are we going via...
Is it within walking distance?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then I'll stroll. It's a lovely night. Yeah, I'll stroll. It's a little chill out, but vampires don't feel that. We don't worry about weather issues too much.
No, it's, well, unless it gets down below a certain point, and then
Yes.
case, yeah, it's kind of...
And I'm wearing woolen cashmere. Screw that noise. So yeah, I'll stroll.
Woolen cashmere would only help if you produce body heat.
Shh.
Blush of life.
I'm thinking of that warmth thing going on. Yes, I'll use a willpower to warm myself. There we go. I'll toss it in the
It's
fire.
a rouse check.
Yeah, not doing that right now. I already had one chat with that bastard today.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that cold. It's Vancouver. It rarely gets
Yeah.
below 10 above Celsius, so you're fine. Yeah, you take a walk over, and I'm guessing that Mordecai, Jude, and Duran would all be getting there at roughly the same time-ish. The limo would probably be pulling into the downstairs parking, and then Duran would probably go through the front door. So let's go with that first. You come across the pile of clothing.
Ah, buona serata, Frank.
Mr. Giovanni.
How is the night treating you?
It's it's a night.
It's better than the alternative. I'm not sure that we sort of push up daisies. See, you would not want to be having a day now, would you?
Not really.
And walking across the lobby, he'll kind of Duran will kind of skip a half step, and just enough to kind of click his heels together just before he reaches the stairs.
Okay. And Jude and Mordecai would be coming in via the downstairs parking.
So I see the Aston Martin parked
Like an
Asshole
asshole.
style.
Yeah.
I have to start
And
renting.
you probably see the Corolla like next
Yeah, it's
to
parked
it.
next to
like,
it,
just
but
right
not
next
like an
to it in
asshole.
the next spot over. Just parked normal.
Yeah, there's the Aston Martin is parked like nearly touching the bumper on like a pillar, and then the Corolla is parked like right in front of it, so you can't really pull out even if you wanted to.
Utter a silent prayer to Set.
Set has acknowledged your prayer.
I know Seth hasn't been listening to me lately, clearly.
That's a big old nope.
And hop out of the limo.
Yeah, same with me. Just making our way up. Or, I guess up. Yeah.
Out of character. Boy, am I glad you didn't wait for me to open your door.
I mean, she.
Yeah, I
probably,
don't think she quite like has put all that kind of stuff together. I think she's still doing her own stuff in that regard.
You should be sitting there a long time. All right.
So I'm assuming you're all going to be congealing in the kind of Primogen Council-ish room that would be set aside from the main room in which there was the marble throne.
Yeah. What does the room look like? Like what's in it?
Well, this is a. It was clearly made by the Toreador because there's like art pieces hanging on the walls. It's not a huge room by any stretch, but there is like a large. You're not quite sure how it made it into the room, but there's a large like hardwood table that's set up. It's got like kind of a large back chairs that are surrounding it, with one of them at, you can only assume what would be the head of the table. That is a kind of a larger chair that is more ornate. There's designs carved into it. It looks like the chair and the table have been. They were. It looks like they were created like probably several hundred years ago. Like there's a little bit of kind of wear and tear that you can tell that has been kind of redone and repolished. But it looks like an old table and chair kind of set.
Okay. Um is Jude seeing Frank when she's entering?
You
Or did she
would,
come from a different
yeah,
okay,
you would
different
have come
way?
in through the underground parking elevator.
Okay, I'm back with you now. Um yeah, so Jude files into the room and is kind of just like looking at everything. Um hey, Seneschal.
Hello.
Duran, nice to see you.
Tell me, Bellas, how is everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone is ready for another fun, rousing round of whatever it is we're doing to ensure that this city is taken care of properly and we benefit along the way.
Yes, definitely. I'm ready. Been studying the Vancouver map. I'm kind of sad that Abigail won't be here for because she's such a city expert. But I I think I understand the lay of the land a little bit more. And yeah, I'll be interested to see what they have to say.
Let the circle joke begin.
A little bit of a development from my end of things. The Hikata and particularly the family Giovanni have decided that the city has grown to be worthy of such notice through the actions of this coterie as well as of others to actually have, let us call it an officially appointed representative of the Hecata.
And that would be you.
Oh, see, who else would fill the position? I know you people. I am close to the rest of you. We treat each other reasonably well, all things considered. To bring in a stranger at this point would be counterproductive.
Agreed.
Well done, Mr. Giovanni. Well done.
Grazie. It is a step up for myself. I am very honored by my family to be appointed this. Realistically, it means nothing more than what we have been doing up to this point, which is fantastically wonderful. It makes no never mind that it is no real extra advantage, a little more responsibility on my family end, but I can take care of that. And in the meantime, we continue doing business as usual. It's just when I talk with other members of the Hecata, I now have a fancy little something to put on my business card.
I'm glad your family is giving you that recognition, though. You deserve it.
Oh, see, well, the city deserves it. We have done, pardon me for a moment, not being humble, but we have done some fantastic things with Vancouver. We have helped it weather a storm of Sabbat. We have improved the kindred relations with other groups. We have done work for various older kindred. We have removed several threats. Do not forget the tentacle things through the big poor brick.
Yeah,
and
still
all
think
of
about
that.
that.
See,
Ah, yes, the
so
portals. Ugh.
see, so we have in the short time I have been in this city, much longer for Senor Abigail and Senor Strickland. We have done a lot. So to receive the recognition, not just from the Camarilla and its representatives, but from my family as well, is I think a well-deserved reward, and we can take a moment to be proud of ourselves. And speaking of which, where is Senora Abigail this evening? Is she busy with studying again?
Yeah, yeah. Um, got a lot to learn, got a lot on her plate. And Cassius is always asking something, you know.
I understand. I wish I was able
Would you
to.
like me to
Yeah.
eliminate him? If that is a potentially hindering problem, we could handle it. We don't need his opinions anymore.
It's not that serious. Plus, someone has to stay behind and kind of run the chantry, and I'm not going to have time to do that. He already knows it. Also, you know, Brutus is there. That's also a concern. So yeah, he's fine to stay put.
Just let me know. I'd be happy to do
You'll
it.
be the first to know. I really appreciate that. So any particular pieces of information or maybe thoughts and opinions on the venture before this kicks off?
Well,
They will try to get over on us.
oh, see, and the
And
trick
they
is
may
to
not
let them
be-
think they do.
Oh, I don't mean just like that. They may use manipulation of the mind to do it. We need
But
to
this
be
is
prepared.
Elysium.
Who gives a shit?
See, the rule is not to use disciplines in Elysium, but the actual rule is not to be caught using disciplines in Elysium.
Precisely.
I am somewhat familiar with most of those skills myself, and the ones where I am not, Senior Strickland is. So we are watching out for this. If they decide to play a little hanky, we will panky them right back.
Indeed. I have the ability to make people see things in their head that isn't actually there.
See,
Well, I just think, you know, I'm pretty sure Davenport is thinking he's ingratiated himself to me with his present.
oh, see,
So should I make like a big to do of the thank you? Should I fawn like, or should I just be like thank you?
note that in the initial meeting, it was Obadiah Ferguson who did the talking. Even though
Yes,
Davenport is the puppeteer,
right.
I do not think I think it is a case of quality and class over quantity and crass. I do not think he was looking for a large thank you, just a simple thank you. I think that he would take a quiet platinum thank you over a brassy gold thank you that everyone can hear. He strikes me as that type who prefers the subtle high quality.
All right, duly noted. That'll
I
inform
agree with this.
my response.
So I would think that just a quiet and simple grazie is all he is wanting. However, he will also be wanting something attached to that thank you. And that I'm thinking from the meeting tonight, considering everything that will be going on, will be a little extra domain. Possibly for the clan, possibly for himself. We shall have to see which way the dice roll when he comes and meets us.
Oh, another idea I had that I wanted to run past everybody, and I will especially talk to Abigail about it. Wouldn't it be good? I was thinking about contacting Alexander and having him put together little dossiers of everyone that's going to be on the court, so I can know all the shit about them. Not necessarily like digging up dirt, but just understanding exactly who
Absolutely
they
dig up
are,
dirt.
and
Know
especially
everything
their
about them.
financial stuff too.
I would actually approach every clan individually as if you are trusting only them to do exactly this. Go to the Ventrue and ask for the financial information. Go to the Toreador and ask for the personal information. Go to the Nosferatu and simply ask for information. The other clans, I do not know what they can contribute, but you can always go to them and say, I am more than willing to provide suitable thank yous for whatever information can be offered. If you make it so that each thinks that they are the only ones doing it, first of all, they won't be talking with each other. So they'll be planning against each other rather than planning against you. Two, you can then compare the information and see who's manipulating it for their own gain and benefit.
See, that's why I knew I wanted to talk to you, Duran, before I set anything into motion, because I knew you'd have a good twist on it. And this is what I mean. I like that.
I would not take this to my clan.
No, the Banu Hakim and the Malkavians I would leave out.
That makes sense.
They have different approaches.
We have dossiers, but we don't hand those out. Those are for reasons.
Fair enough.
See, and the Malkavians enjoy speaking in riddles and looking as much at what can happen as they do at looking at what has happened. So the information you get from them will be important. It's puzzling out the threads in order to understand what the information means. See,
I guess also I'm not
Malkavian, the worst thing.
I guess I'm also not 100% sure that yes is like agreeing to this, because they did that whole thing with the pen. Like, I don't know if they're going to be weird about that.
I mean, you could make a show of it and say, and have the pen out during all of the official signed proceedings, and sign with the pen itself, passively.
I don't want to sign with it. That seems.
You can make notes with the pen, but
weird.
I would not write your name with the pen.
Yeah, that I agree with that. But yeah, I'll just write notes with it. And Storyteller, I would think I brought it with me in my bag along, because I especially brought all these writing materials.
Yeah.
Oh, any particular description on the pen, like color, style?
Marriott Hotel.
It is a regular Bic pen.
Oh, wow.
It's
One
a
of the clear
regular
ones
Bic.
that has like the thing.
10-cent pen. Excellent.
Okay. Good to know.
Does it come with teeth marks on the end already, or is she going to have to apply her own?
Oh, there's teeth marks on it. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Okay.
Yuck. Well,
Side
They,
note,
they,
these are
they
the
pretty
ones
much
that you-
come right out of the package that way.
These are the ones that you actually use to rewind cassette tapes. Anybody
Yes.
using a pencil, amateur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
These are the ones that had multiple uses in school because you take that little bit of paper and wad it up and you just, and then pin back in and you're like, what? I got nothing.
Yep, it's true.
They were the blow dart Bics.
All right. Let's see. What else did I want to I think I should get my own place to live. I think I should move out of the Chantry.
You just moved into the Chantry. You don't
I know
make a
that.
big deal of moving into the Chantry because safety and Sabat, etc., etc.
I understand, but I always thought of that as a temporary thing. Like, I feel like the prince isn't going to live in the sorority dorm. Like, the prince has their own
There is something
residence,
to be
right?
said for the prince being protected, and the Chantry is one of the most protected areas in the city. But there is also something to be said for all the other clans about the prince not living with the rest of the Tremere.
Correct.
That is
I
an
think it's a good
image.
idea. However,
See,
you will not move until you have proper security measures in place. Period.
see, a proper haven.
Of course. I wouldn't make a move until everything was already all completely lined up and ready to go.
That's something that we can table.
See,
Yeah, these are just things I'm thinking about now. I
Could
want to
buy
make sure this is
property
all
for this,
Yeah.
but it will not be moved into until all of our measures are in place.
also, and Jude almost seems like she kind of just like blurts this out as if she like doesn't really want to like necessarily talk about it and sort of just tacking it on to the end of everything. She's kind of like, and I think I really need to like make my own money somehow besides the profits from Sandwich. But Storyteller, I feel like those margins are thin and it's a little
Razor thin.
boutique shop.
Yeah.
It's a boutique shop. Like, I can't imagine I'm making hardly any money off of that
Pretty
after
much-
you think about rent and
Pretty
all
much
that stuff.
anything down
See.
in downtown, pretty much anywhere, as a boutique shop like that, the profits would be like razor thin.
That's what I'm saying. So I think she's taken that into consideration. I mean, her previous profession dealt pretty much in cash and cash app transfers. So it's not as though, I think she's just thinking about this larger picture. And so she continues, I need to invest. I need to have my own stuff, like in my own name, right? Or shell corporations that come back to me, or however the fuck is the best way to do it. Prince, you're muted.
You could just steal. It's my go-to strategy.
that is
Take
not
it
a
from
good
the people
image
who
for the
I don't
prince.
feel like that's not the move for me.
A robber baron is not actually a thief that way. It's done differently, and even when it's visible, it's not so visible.
And people hate white collar criminals.
They do? Since when?
Oh,
I was saying they're the ones who get off with everything.
See,
I guess mean like vilified in the public eye, as
Who
opposed
gives
to
a shit?
oh,
We're
see,
all
everybody,
stealing off the
vilified in the
street.
public eye.
everybody
I mean,
likes to
Martha
complain
Stewart
about them and
still
bitch
has a
about them,
fucking
but
job.
you know, you spend a few years in Club Fed, and then you know you get your tennis game under control, and you come back and you continue doing it for the most part.
Yeah.
There are a
Get to
few
hang
who
out
do
with
not.
Snoop Dogg.
See, there are a few who do
Martha
not. For
Stewart.
example, that idiot with the EpiPens and stuff who has got that slappable face.
Skrelly.
Ah, yes.
Skrelly, see, he should go away permanently. There is currently my family is making sure no one embraces him. No one, no clan, no nothing. He is
Right.
not
Yeah, don't do
worthy.
that.
No,
No.
he gets to die a bitter, broken old man. Beyond
Great. Love
that,
it.
for the most part. Now, are you looking at applying your talent somehow, or are you looking at a margin of profits from your position as prince? Hint, hint, it's option number 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about, because it's not like I can like I'm not
See,
about to go back on the streets and be like, hey, I've got some
there are
Molly on the
there are a
weekend.
couple. Well, but there are a couple of ways to. If you wanted to do that, I would suggest speaking with Senior Strickland.
I'm trying
Um,
not to do that
but
anymore.
I'm
you would
offended.
no, Senor. I mean,
Get
you
All
would
of my
real.
show.
work is
It
above
can be
board.
quite lucrative.
Oh, see, I am sure it is above
Yeah,
water
definitely
while
no one
your
is high
limbs
at your
are
mansion.
paddling
Definitely no
like
one is high.
mad under the surface. You
I've
could teach
seen
her
them
how
all
to set up a
chewing their
proper
cheeks and
distribution network.
downing water bottles, okay?
See, so there are a few ways of doing this. The simple and easy way to do it is as we make arrangements with the clans for domain and for favors, that there is a return. Generally, for the most part, with most of the clans, it is a financial return or something that can be turned into finances.
Because
The
it's
tour-
fungible and can be replaced by them.
See.
Greatly.
The Toreador may offer art. Excellent. Take the art. The art can be sold. That turns into funds. Now,
Okay.
there are a couple of us we all have our own specialties. While Senor Abigail has been able to take your education in hand and assist with your growth within the Tremere, Senor Jaw will take care of any idiots who open their mouths. Senor Strickland and I are both money people in slightly different ways.
Exactly.
See, because of Senor Strickland's connection with the Camarilla as a Toreador and as the head harpy, he can be left to make his own deals as well. And you can gift him anything you like. As his prince, you are allowed to do so, and it will be above reproach and above examination. That said, all the Toreador are going to examine it to figure out exactly what you're doing and what you're saying. As an independent, you and I will have to have a slightly different relationship with respect to anything, even though I am now a representative of Giovanni in the city, which means you and I will have to sit down and discuss contract, because it is the only relationship we will be allowed to have in which anything can flow in either direction. And I can make sure that things do flow in your direction. It's being prince is never just about giving. It is about giving and getting in balance. And in the end of the day, the balance is that you get more than you give. That is the whole intent. So we can definitely set you up with some bank accounts and information, and start funneling money into places where you need it. I am slowly sinking our family's interests into the financial corners of this city a little deeper every few weeks. I have met some people and talked with some representatives of the daytime world, and there are some financial connections that are coming into some reins to control the horses, one could say, coming into my grip.
Okay. Yeah. All of that sounds good to me, but yeah, I'm just trying to think about everything. I mean, one thing that I think is good in terms of me being in this particular position is that I don't really have a lot of history in the city, and the history I have has kind of been blown off the map. My dad is an asshole. I imagine he's gonna croak in a couple years, and that's it for me. So I'm kind of without a lot of baggage. Um, I think that's good. Speaking of baggage, Gretchen, she I sat her down and she's been really cagey about who she is, where she's from, what relationship she has. So I sat her down. I said, this is your last chance to give me the information willingly, or I'll find out the information one way or another. And she's kind of like me. Parents died, moved from Toronto to Vancouver, and started fresh, got the job at Sandwich. It doesn't seem like she's hiding anything, but I feel like I'm going to have to get some info on her as well, because I just don't think I can be too careful.
If you would like, I could have a word with her and turn her into a little babbling brook. But you've seen how she gets about Perlman. You might find that once the tap is turned on.
But I need the tap to be turned on for something other than Ron Perlman. That's what I'm saying. I need.
See. Easy,
Yeah.
easy enough to do. I could have a word with her about.
She can grow back an arm.
I don't think so. I don't. Is that?
Yes.
So I have a few questions about this. One,
Okay.
why was she not vetted the moment we interacted with her? Because she was hired by my sister's lackey in the first place.
She was not vetted because she was just a little human, and we do tend to overlook the little humans in our
Just
lives.
a little human anymore.
Yeah, I see. That
But
was
then I wasn't
that was
trying
an
to be
emergency. Not only that, but that was a we do this or she dies, and there was
Correct.
some. And Senor Strickland, you were as much angry with her state at that time as anyone else was, as I remember.
No, yes, true, but still.
So see, she went from being a little human we could ignore, someone at the counter, to being someone important in Senora Duncan's life, to now she's Prince, and now that means her child
That's what I'm saying. There's gonna be a magnifying glass on the things that I do, and the fact that she's my child or my only child.
Where is she going to stay?
I mean,
is she going to go with you when you decide to opt out on your own and leave the chantry?
I really don't want to live with her. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be in.
Your two choices are she lives with you as a child or should, or she lives at the chantry. You do not want to. You see, you don't want to let her out on her own. As much as she might want independence, the first several decades, it's very dangerous letting a kindred out on their own without any oversight.
As Prince, you've now shackled her to this fate. Because you've decided to take Praxis, because you've decided to paint, again, this huge target, anything that is dear to you and that is seen to be dear to you now becomes a liability.
I understand that, which is why I'm
she
trying
walks
to
out the door.
You can just take the blood back. It's the simplest way.
I don't think so. I don't think I can do that.
Our the simplest solution.
See,
you can take it or you can leave it.
Our Jude is still far too squishy to do that.
And that's the thing. I don't know what she wants. She said something at one point about like it seems like she's interested in the entertainment business. I don't know if it's as an actor or a crew member or a writer. I don't know what she wants. That's my whole thing.
Career choices now.
I mean, they shoot movies at night.
See, I will have a chat with her.
I don't need her like unknown, all of her shit, and I don't need that also like coming to bite me in the ass. It already was a unusual situation, so I'm trying to get a handle on that before too much time passes. And I'll think about, I mean, if you say she should live with me, then that's what will happen. If that's the easiest way.
Well, there's the three choices, right? She's in danger because you are Prince. So she stays at the chantry and maximum security there. She stays with you and the maximum security that is going to be established, or she stays on her own and we establish yet another point of maximum security.
She gets a pretty
all of this depending
prison
on what she wants. Because she is now a full and independent member of the Camarilla, apart from you, or at the very least, as soon as you release her. Because at that point, being Prince, you then automatically acknowledge her into the Camarilla and you're sitting.
Right, and she looks at Ja. We're all in a gilded cage. Let's be real. To a certain degree.
You have a choice to leave. You could turn around and call it a night. You could leave this city whenever you want to. But her, she's stuck with you no matter what. If someone wants to get to you, they'll go through her. If I wanted to get to you, I'd take her.
See, And remember, there is your tradition of accounting, which means if she is let out on her own and does something
bad.
stupido, like
It's my fault.
killing somebody, they are going to look at you and they are going to, and I have seen princes taken down because of their childhood.
And this is why I said the simple solution. It's nasty. It's awful. I don't think it would be good for you. However, that would break the chain. And no one would think twice about it.
Or the alternative is you attach her to your hip.
Those are your choices.
See, anywhere in the distance, in the difference between the hip and gun, there are potentially issues.
Okay. Well, I have a lot to think about. I just need to know the inroad to understanding her. That's all I want to do is understand her.
This is why we are here, to give you our advice, our information, our bits and pieces to say, here, make judgment from the information we give you. But as I said, I will drip a little something in her ear and she will unburden herself to you. When it's time to turn off the tap and too much, let me know and I'll see if I can drip something else in.
Have Cassius do it.
Once you start doing that, it does not matter who does it. Once you start doing that, it becomes a game.
I just figure involving an independent representative, as Mr. Giovanni is officially, regardless. Also, Cassius could actually earn his keep a little bit because it's his place that she's staying in at this point. So she is technically a danger. It's on him because he let it in. So it would stand to reason that Mr. Cassius would want to vet that person.
Well, nobody is going to know that I've done anything. As they say,
I suspect Mr. Giovanni is very good at his job.
You have to catch people using their disciplines in order to tell them not to use their disciplines.
True.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I wanted to talk to all of you about this, because I want to make sure I'm making the right move and all of you have more experience than I do.
I don't say what I said to be cruel. I hope you understand that.
I didn't take it that way. I understand where that comes from. Like, I get it. I don't think you're being cruel. This is one of the many realities that I'm gonna have to come face to face with. That's just how it is. So better to get used to it. And you can see Jude kind of like just take a step back, and she really just has 1,000-yard stare for a minute, just like thinking about Gretchen, and how that's all going to shake out.
It's at that point you hear a knock on the door.
Showtime.
Our guests have arrived.
See, so it appears. So Duran will go to the door and open it.
You see not only Obadiah Ferguson, but also Victor Davenport on the other side of the door.
Just the two of them?
Just the two of them.
Excellent. Senors, please come in.
And it's at that point that we're going to take a bit of a break. So, come on back in about 7 minutes, everybody. Go grab some food, grab some extra snacks, grab some water, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everybody. We just had a knock at the door to the Primogen Council chamber. And on the other side, there was the two Ventru, Victor Davenport and Obadiah Ferguson. Duran got up, let them in, and we're going to pick up right from there. Mr. Giovanni.
Okay, you did the same voice for both of them. Which one's addressing me?
That was Obadiah Ferguson. I didn't actually do a voice to you guys of Victor Davenport as of yet.
Oh, okay. You haven't. No, that's true. Senor Ferguson and Senor Davenport. It is wonderful to see you. Please come in.
It is.
Prince Duncan is waiting to sit down and have a little chat with you.
Yes. Where is Jude? Like, where's everybody positioned at this particular point in time?
What is this room set up like?
It is the one with the large table and the chairs that have the high backs. They're wooden chairs, and presumably the prince's chair has the much higher back than the others, and it's got
Head of the table.
How did I put that? Innate, not innate. Ornate carvings in the back, and it looks all fancy, like a Toreador spent 20-30 hours preparing the chair.
I slide my chair right next to Jude's right side. I sit my sword on my lap, and I wait.
And Jude is, I think, for the moment, kind of standing beside the chair, the ornate chair, and kind of just has her hand resting on the back of it.
Okay. Mordecai, where are you situated?
I had a really evil thought, but I don't think the chair, the ornatest of the chairs, isn't pulled out enough. Correct?
It would be up to Jude
Yeah,
as to how far
Jude
it's
didn't
pulled
pull it out at all.
Okay, never mind
It's
then.
still just pushed in.
Never mind then. Don't need to know what I was going to do. I will be sitting to the left of that chair.
Okay. So they come in.
Now, as they come in, Duran is going to let them go ahead, and then he's going to present the chairs to the one side as he pulls out the chair at the foot of the table and sits himself.
Which particular side? Like if Jude is facing you,
Yep.
which side would you have offered?
I am right at the foot. So she's at the head of the table. I am
You're
at the exact foot of the table. Yep.
So which side
Which
would you
one's
have
the
offered?
actual head of the table?
Neither side. Not
Okay.
going to drift left or right. I am exactly in the middle of the foot. So as she looks down the table, I am directly ahead of her.
Oh
Okay.
no, which one's the actual head of the table?
They will move around to Jude's left side for the table. They stop before they sit down and they go, Prince Jude.
Mr. Ferguson, Mr. Davenport,
I'll stand up
glad
as
to see
they're
you.
I'd say
Uh,
the same as
You as
Mordecai.
well. So you're both standing?
Yeah, until they sit down.
Okay.
Yep.
I think Jude will she will like sit down, then she'll pull out the chair and sit down. So like kind of, okay, everybody sits down now.
Yeah.
Once Jude sits down, then Duran will sit down as well.
They wait until Jude is making her sit down motion, and then they will actually sit as well. It is good to see that last evening went according to plan.
Yes, really I'm quite pleased overall. I'd say it was a good showing, and I'm looking forward to improving that much more as time goes on.
Excellent. Just so that you are aware, and they have briefcases that they have put on the table. I will be, and this is Obadiah, I will be the clan whip for Ventru, and Mr. Davenport here has a bunch of meetings that he has to attend, business, moving money around, making sure that Vancouver is well placed within the Camarilla. He will be mostly staying out of Primogen Council meetings, but he wanted to come here today to make sure that everything was fine, everything is good with the Principship, to see if you needed anything from Clan Ventru, and to present our request before the rest of the clans made it here. And he pauses.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's good to know about how things will move going forward with you, Mr. Ferguson, and you, Mr. Davenport. I understand. I'm sure you have many things to attend to. Glad to have you on the council and looking forward to working with both of you. Yes, the first in. Good position to be in.
We like to think so. So, as our request to you, we would like to request a domain.
Okay.
It would be for the financial district.
The financial district. Okay. And what would be the bounds of your domain?
So it would be, give or take, roughly along Burrard in West Georgia, give or take that area. It's the vast majority of the office space is in there, and we have the headquarters of a few mining companies and forestry companies.
Understood. Seems like it makes sense. Um,
See, the central business district also plays host to a few clubs and a little bit of the art district as well. Pardon if I speak at the turn. I have been contracted as Prince Duncan's business manager, as
Understandable.
she is young and is new to business. She has been learning the book occult learning all this time.
Give me a wits and awareness.
For me?
Yes.
I think Ja would lean over to Jude and ask, just like, just say, hey, you should ask them how much of that they don't already own. Because I'm sure they have most of it already. And whatever they want, whatever part they don't own, is very, very valuable.
I'm gonna blow
Just that kind of like
willpower.
sidebar thing.
The willpower
Just
is with her was worth it. I'm definitely being introspective tonight. The willpower is worth it. That was 5 successes.
You notice Victor Davenport is looking. He's kind of on an angle, like his left side is basically kind of facing you.
Mm-hmm.
And at the point that you say financial advisor, there's definitely a slight tick in his eye, like a kind of gives you a little bit of a sideways glance, but he doesn't say anything.
very Jessica Walter.
So among the financial district, there are a number of clubs. There
Yes.
are many which are, of course, hangouts for those who work in the financial district, work hard and party hard. And there is a little bit of the art district overlaps. As long as the Toreador would have access to these clubs and art installations and sections, it would not be their domain. It would be something that, as a clan, you could speak with their primogen or representative about doing your own dealing. But we could definitely see to seeding that. And to sweeten the pot, I was just suggesting to Prince Duncan, if I remember right, in having a discussion with you a few nights ago, Signor Ferguson, might have been more than a few nights ago, Senora Wong has a lot of transportation interests, and
She does, yes.
the Richmond and the airport area has been stagnant for a while, lacking due to a not a sufficient amount of attention, I think, to the business interests in that area. And I'm thinking that perhaps Senora Wong and others of your clan would find it advantageous to have the responsibilities of that section to handle.
That would be agreeable.
So that would be my suggestion, Prince Duncan, that as long as the Toreador have access to the clubs and the little bits of art that are scattered through the financial district, and in exchange the Richmond and the airport would definitely benefit from the oversight of Clan Venture.
Indeed. I think all considerations well made there, Mr. Giovanni. How much of the financial district does Clan Ventru have holdings there already in
We
terms
do.
of offices and things?
We do.
All right. Um Pardon the thing. I'm just looking at the map. uh
And I'm assuming that
I-
Jude has like an actual like kind of physical map there in front
She
of her.
did bring one, yeah, that was in her bag. So she probably does have that on the table and is looking at that. Has maybe the Malkavian pen making notes on the map. Um, so she's kind of like looking at all these streets and cross-referencing and sort of pinpointing the financial district. And she's like, and did you in I know the communication in previous administrations was difficult to say the least.
It had its moments.
Uh were there any what kind of agreements did you have then about domain?
We had a similar agreement with several of the past princes.
Mhm.
Now, I do have to ask this because I'm not 100% sure. Different cities have different levels of relationship between Clan Venture and the Prince. Were you tithing 5% or was it 7% in this city?
It was 5%.
I think a 5% tithe is still quite acceptable. We can arrange a contract that takes care of that. No issue at all.
Good. Um, and Jude gives a look kind of to everybody at the table, kind of just rest her eyes on everybody individually. They and then kind of looking right at Mr. Giovanni and then to the Venture. Um, I think that this sounds agreeable for this to be your domain.
Excellent. Will you be drawing up said contract, or would you like for us to do it?
Oh, I will be taking care of the contracts, make sure
Excellent.
that Prince Duncan gives a look over them. I will be educating her a little bit on the language and how such are put together. And then
Understandable.
once she is comfortable with what the contracts say, I shall make sure to get them, Senior Ferguson, I would expect to your office, and then you can take
Yes.
care
Yes.
of ensuring that Senior Davenport takes a look at them, puts his signature on them, and we're all ready to go.
That would be agreeable. When can we expect said contracts?
Give me about 3 nights. I want to make sure that they are proper.
Understandable. Make sure that all of the legalese is in place, I believe, as they say in these nights.
See, now one of the issues that we might have within this city, we as a coterie had slight, I would not say dealings, an encounter with them. And in working with a variety of alliances, their name has come to our attention. How tightly connected are the business dealings of the Ventru clan with the company Pentex?
Pentax.
See.
Wits and awareness for everybody. Whilst I make a roll my own self.
I'm gonna order different D10s. These are straight up cursed.
Oh.
Holy hell. Okay, I am gonna spend a willpower.
Well, they do have the new ones from Renegade, I think. Those are out now. Or you could buy
Ooh.
some from Level Up Dice.
Oh yeah, the level up ones are okay. It's all the other ones that are acting weird.
3 successes for Ja, narrowly avoiding a messy critical.
3 successes. 6 successes. 1 success. So Ja, Mordecai, and Jude. He just says Pentex in a surprised voice. For Duran, you get kind of a feeling, not necessarily based upon what you're seeing from them. It's just kind of like a feeling, like you're getting kind of a vibe from them, like they may have slightly tensed up a little bit. It seems that Pentex may have run afoul of them in the past, or Pentex has decided that their shit needs fucking with.
See, Pentex, a company that is not in our favor, or and thus is not in Prince Duncan's favor or the favor of this organization, and is not in the favor of our allies either. So if you happen to run into any of dealings that that company has or its subsidiaries in Vancouver, feel free to take them over, take them apart, sell them for pieces, and bury the skeletons somewhere where my family wouldn't even think of looking for them.
Indeed. So, in exchange for
Oh, it's just giving a free run at the Pentex. We will not do anything to protect them should you go after them. Hint, hint.
excellent.
And should you profit from going after Pentex, I think we can arrange that the contract does not see 5% of that come our way. We can allow that to be a free and clear gift, I believe.
Understandable. I believe this. And he kind of leans over to Victor Davenport, and Victor Davenport just nods. I believe this
Bueno.
is acceptable to
Bueno.
both parties.
The other company that we would like to see disassembled and taken back into the fold would be Charlotte Industries. We feel that we just do not like that name anymore.
That is
it
already
is
in
an
the fold.
embarrassment. Bueno. See, remove the name and take it back.
Sorry, Mr. Mordecai, was it?
Strickland. Is there any way we can actually expedite that? Because
it doesn't need expedition because it has already. It never actually left our control.
Bueno, just scrub the name. Rename it Wong Industries or Davenport Industries or something. It's just a name that is an embarrassment.
Very well.
Oh, and Mr. Davenport.
Victor Davenport looks over in your direction.
Thank you for your gift last night. I do appreciate that.
He nods.
Well, with the domain sorted and in this preliminary stage, and Mr. Giovanni has brought the other matters to attention. My last part of the meeting would be, as a new prince, I'm interested in the financial holdings of my court, so to speak. And so I'm in search of the financial information for the others that have stepped into roles on the court.
How do you mean?
I'm just trying to gather information, learn about the people that will be on my court, and get a full picture of what everybody is bringing to the table or not.
I see. What information do you want?
I suppose I would want to understand the chains of businesses that exist in association with the Primogen on the court. Um, that more or less would cover it. I don't need personal financial records, bank statements. That's not necessary. I just am interested in the larger holdings.
And why would you need this information?
I think what Prince Duncan is asking, if I may be, as has been mentioned, Senora Wong has a strong interest in transportation. There are times we have just come through one where the influential ties that our clans have with those among the mortal realm are important. For example, I have quite a lot of ties amongst the financial world myself. Senor Cato, of course, given his nature, has more ties amongst law enforcement. Senor Strickland has ties amongst the wealthy. We're asking where generally, much as Senora Wong has her connections in transportation, your influences lie so that we can contact the right people next time should something happen. If, for example, you have strong ties in the media, should we require a newspaper story or perhaps a report to be squashed, we would know to come to you and not to talk to the Nosferatu or the Toreador. Um, I would assume that you would not have the ties among the art world that the Toreador would. So if there's something going on in that realm, we would not bother you. We don't want to take up Primogen meetings with useless chatter that 5 out of 6 Primogen find boring. We want to be
We
able to
pride ourselves
target.
on efficiency.
See, we want to target our discussions. So beyond Senora Wong's transportation, if you would be so kind, it does not have to be tonight, just a document of a rough, what spheres of influence we could request the Ventru to pull strings within for the benefit of the city and all the kindred within it, of course, with both recognition and with reward for doing so.
He glances over at Victor Davenport. Victor Davenport gives him the slightest of nods, and he goes, "So, Primogen Davenport has influence in large businesses and the media. I have some in business and also bureaucracy."
Bueno. And amongst your clan, is there anyone else who has a sizable amount of influence, or is it beyond Senora Wong's transportation, or is it mostly just much like myself, small stuff here and there? You know, somebody who deals in trades.
There's mostly business type influences. There's a smattering of other things here and there.
Bueno, that is good to know. This way we know that should we require thinkers within business or media, then or transportation, then yours is the clan that we should come and speak with.
Indeed. Well, if that is all for this particular evening,
I believe between myself and Mr. Giovanni, we've addressed all we wanted to address this evening.
excellent. I will be making myself available for the Primogen meeting, which is a little bit later. Mr. Davenport, on the other hand, has to leave at this particular juncture.
See, we would appreciate, as a show of good faith, of course, that while we will accept the whip at the Primogen meetings as they occur, Prince Duncan hasn't decided yet whether they will be monthly or what rotation, but we would very much appreciate the actual Primogen Senor Davenport to show on a quarterly basis. I'm thinking asking 4 times a year is not too much to work in his schedule.
And he glances back over at Victor Davenport. And it takes a little bit of time. Like, ordinarily he would nod in like 2 seconds flat, but this is about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Then he eventually nods.
Enough for a pregnant pause.
Bueno. We will of course allow Senor Davenport's schedule to determine when in the quarter if he shows up. But each season it would be appreciated that he accompany you, Senor Ferguson, so that we, first of all know that he is still with us. And
Say
that we
the
still
least,
have
this would
the
be
highly
recommended.
This city has a curse of disappearing kindred, and we want to make sure that this does not happen again.
Indeed.
And of course, in order to show the proper and full support of Plan Ventru and the acknowledgement of the fact that Jude Duncan is indeed your prince.
Understandable. That is very, very, very understandable.
Bueno.
And
That
Jai's
is-
glaring at Davenport this whole time.
I would like to exercise my coterie merit
Sure.
because I can get a secret from somebody.
From who?
I'm just trying to figure out
Whom?
how.
From whom do you want this?
I mean,
If you find out where Davenport gets his shirts made, you better share with Duran.
I don't know. I'm not sure how this would even work because do I have to be talking to them?
Just observation, stuff like
Okay.
that.
I don't know. Should I ask about the shirts?
It's entirely up to you.
I mean, is that something that you can use to excavate more information on
It's
what was going on with Pentex?
Storyteller's secret once per session.
I mean, we only got their weird looks about Pentex, so we don't actually know what went down with them in the Ventru.
I don't
That's
care
the
what
first
went
thing that
down.
comes to
I'm
mind.
just happy as hell that they don't like Pentex.
Me too. I was
Sure.
super worried they were like in
I'm
bed.
curious
with
as
them. I
to
was
how
like,
much influence they actually have.
So for that, I will answer just the one, and it is financial influence of level 5 for Victor Davenport and media influence of level 4.
ow.
Oh.
So, on that note, if there is nothing else that anybody is saying at this particular juncture, Victor Davenport pushes out his chair slightly and goes to move up to stand up on his feet, and Obadiah Ferguson does the exact same, like a split second after. If that is all, I believe
Stand as well.
Mr.
Yep.
Davenport is needed elsewhere at the moment.
Yep, Duran will stand as well.
And Prince Jude.
John never breaks his gaze with Mr. Davenport, and he says, Davenport,
There's
please
a no.
acknowledge your prince.
Timing.
He just says meow.
Right in the
Shit!
Well, that's
That was
different.
perfect.
That explains
was.
everything.
That was.
Wow. Perfectly
Davenport
cut
opens his
meows.
mouth. Or Ferguson opens his mouth and goes,
Davenport looks at Jude and nods.
And John looks over at Jude and goes, is a susceptible Prince Jude.
In its way, yes.
And he nods again.
As you wish.
And then they
And-
both make
Yep,
their way.
Duran will go
towards
to the door, open up the door for them.
I will see you all in about, I believe it's
About an hour.
Yep.
See.
Yes. Excellent. I will make myself Available if anyone needs me. I will be at the refreshment stand.
Bueno.
Wait.
And they both leave.
Close the door. Give it about a 3-count beat.
Wait.
I was gonna say more than a 3 count because vampires have heightened senses. I'm very scared.
Not all of them do, but
hear.
just one.
I know.
And it's a slow 3 count.
Generally not the Ventru.
I guess that is true.
It's a slow 3 count. It's gonna like.
Okay.
Don't Ventru have rarefied tastes?
Prey exclusion, yeah.
Why would or Ferguson? He's the voice.
See.
Why would he be standing?
He's the mouthpiece.
You'll catch me at the refreshment stand.
Because the Elysium does indeed carry certain things for rarefied tastes. A proper Elysium is well stocked for every clan.
Who's tracking that?
That is something that we can check into.
Is this something that
Frank would know?
Frank is underlining, at which point then we should probably bankroll that in some way, because we'd want to make sure that that's a safety mechanism that can be kept. That's also a lot of information.
I think, Senora Duncan, we did reasonably well with the Ventru. They are a clan we do not want to go to war with.
And that's why I was trying to
be
fairly amenable and restrained.
I think 5% is reasonable. Had we started there, they would have argued down to 3, which is why I gave them a choice of 5 or 7. Most cities
that's how you do it. You say the higher one first.
Most cities I've been in have been 2 or 3% at the best. Exactly. So 5 is actually, considering how much business goes on in this city, 5 is pretty decent.
I suspect they found that agreeable because they have it.
And I have no doubt they will underreport, because we all do. But it does not matter. Money will be coming in. It is nice to see that they are taking care of Charlotte Industries. It is calming to see that they have no love for Pentex. I believe that the offer of the airport in Richmond was a wise one. That puts them as a buffer to our south and gives them an excellent business area that I think could benefit from their oversight.
There will be a little bit of friction with the Toreador inevitably, but we can handle that. I hate them a little bit more than the Ventru.
Yeah, I guess I haven't had a lot of dealings with Ventru just generally in my life, but I guess I didn't think they were so tight-lipped and stuffy. I thought they were.
Oh, they are.
Jeez Louise.
For them, it is about lineage. It is about the honor of the family. It is about the...
Oh, yeah. I was reading in that book at the Chancery. They have, like, what's it called? An agoge. Like, it's a... Agoge. It's like a way that people come up. And, like, when they're first embraced and then they kind of go to, like, Ventru school. I
have no doubt. We Giovanni are taught ourselves among the family. We have much the same.
Every clan, including
a little different for the Giovanni. You are always coming up for that, where the Ventru take someone and then they throw them into this meat grinder.
That is true. That is true.
And Jude looks at Jaw and she's like, so what kind of acknowledgement toward me as Prince do you think is appropriate in terms of the etiquette here?
Him using his mouthpiece to not say a single word to you seems very disrespectful, but that's just me.
I can see where you're coming from. I just assumed it was just like...
At the same time, while it is a power move, it is also a show. He is focused on the business of the clan and not on the business of the city and the prince. We will see where this... We will see where this takes us.
We have the biggest dicks.
No, it's
I
big witch energy. It's not
I
dick.
will note
Whatever.
that when Charlotte Arden was made the Primogen, Senior Davenport disappeared for a while. So there are ways to handle him within the clan, and there are, of course, always
Interesting.
ways to handle him outside of the clan.
Thank you, Mr.
Did he
Giovanni.
disappear
That is a
because he was
wonderful
outranked?
tidbit.
I do not know.
Or
I
did
do
he
not know
disappear
where he
because
went or what went on. All I know is that I dealt with Senior Ferguson and a few others, and he was not to be found. I have
Wait
not.
a minute.
I have not
Theory.
pursued that.
Theory.
See,
He ended up in the abyss as well. Because remember, Cassius went in and he came out and he was all like deadpan and he barely talked and he wouldn't engage at all. I'm just saying, I know they're stuffy and everything and that's their way, but maybe that could have something to do why Mr. Ferguson kind of takes
that just
point in the
deepens the mystery
interactions.
then?
see,
How do they all
It
end
does.
up in the abyss?
It's a great question.
but there's something I have been spending some time myself there, learning, exploring, kicking certain steak Le Sombre in the head repeatedly, just to
Oh
perhaps
yeah.
teach them a lesson. I am I am of mind to bring them back to be dealt with. I'm also of mind to force feed them and turn them into mine. I haven't
We still need
decided
to
what to do with
talk
them
about
yet.
that, Mr. Giovanni. I am still interested.
See, see, that is definitely something that we will need to sit down and discuss, because it is something that can be done. It is an arrangement.
I understand.
Mordecai, thoughts on the meeting with the Ventru?
Bunch of stuffed shirts.
Oh, see.
Yeah, they're super
I agree with
annoying.
Don Giovanni in that Davenport was pulling a power move, deliberately not speaking in order to say or have a puppet in order to walk through. Ferguson acting as that puppet seems a bit out of character for him, but he's got a lot of influence in his own right. So I'm not sure, honestly. It's hard to get a read on them when they don't actually talk. When they talk, I can get things out of them. But if Davenport is respecting clan and acting as whip, no, yeah, Victor Davenport is the primogen.
See,
I keep screwing that up. Ferguson, if Ferguson is acting as the mouthpiece, it might just be tradition within his clan. But if he has, and wait, so Davenport is the one with the higher influence, finance and media?
Yes.
Sorry, Taylor? Okay. So it might behoove us, if we want to be a little bit political, to nudge in the way of finding a bit more about Ferguson, where his holdings are, what makes them tick, and grease that wheel.
Well, that could be a job for our good Nosferatu.
Maybe.
Among other things. And again, make it seem like they're the only ones that we're asking.
see,
for
Also, what is the
information.
5%?
5% of
tithe.
all their business dealings. So every
Where
dollar
is
that
that going?
every dollar that goes through their accounts will go to an accountancy in Prince Jude Duncan's name as the prince. It will be hers to use as she sees fit. Certain amounts to assist the city if it is required, and if somebody asks. The rest of it for her to maintain a lifestyle to which the prince is to be accustomed. As the prince, she's the
Exactly.
boss of the city. People pay to do business here.
Yeah,
Precisely.
but so we'll have to establish that particular financial infrastructure.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
we will be setting up accounts for her, several, under a variety of names in different places. Um, the whole part of the process with her wanting to get her own place and setting up a haven and making sure it's secure and everything, again, will take a bit because we need to get the money flowing to get the location and pay the people and do everything that needs doing and see.
And improve our own coder, our owned territory. For
Speaking
example,
of,
Sandwich could use a few improvements that money could go into, and for the sake of safety, we could also talk about improving even the chantry. I'm not saying that we should do that. I'm saying that we could.
I will bring up the point that about a week or so ago, I brought in a team to improve Sandwich, and it became a list, which apparently, I don't know, has someone got that piece of paper?
Yeah, I have it.
Bueno, I still have people who are willing to do the work for as a gift from the Giovanni. We just need to know what work needs to be done.
Okay. We will that's something I will talk to Abigail just as a last pass, and then we'll do it.
See,
Are you sure
bueno.
you don't want to talk to Gretchen?
I would recommend talking to Gretchen as well because there is a sufficient space down there to make a place to rest for anyone who needs it, among other thoughts.
I'm not an entire monster, just a little bit of one.
Yeah, I will have to talk to Gretchen as well. That makes sense. Um so what can I expect in this next phase here? Is everybody just going to be coming at me with, "Oh, I want this, I want that, blah blah blah."
You're going to get a lot of
Yes.
kindred asking for things, trying to make deals. Initially, domain. From there, will be other things. I would also recommend that tonight we do the Primogen meeting. You'll hand out a few domains, and then tomorrow, take a break and put on your fighting clothes, and let's go find us some Nagaraja to beat around.
I suspect the
I
Anarchs will
like
have
that.
something to say here shortly. While we have some positive dealings with some of them, they will have a piece that they want to express with you, my prince.
I don't
Oh,
doubt that Senor Vincent is not the only Baron in this area.
True.
right. I've been wondering about that as well.
And
Storyteller.
he definitely does not hold the hierarchy.
That's me.
Yeah. Did in the course of the rest of the night of rest of the previous night, did Baron Vincent ever show up to the Elysium?
He did not.
Interesting. And maybe you can refresh my memory a bit when we met with him about like Jude's bid for Praxis. Was he like, yes, I am going to show up to Elysium? Like, did he like confirm that?
Not entirely, as far as
Okay.
I recall. Like, he said
Okay.
that he might show up.
Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I was remembering right. Okay. Um and Jude kind of looks contemplative for a second and says, I thought maybe Baron Vincent would like show up. I mean, I thought he liked me. I thought maybe that would get him far enough to step foot in Elysium,
It's
but I
got nothing
guess
to do
not.
with like. Think of it from his perspective. He is a brawling badass baron, so he has a territorial holding in Surrey in his particular domain. If he was seen bending knee to the Camarilla Prince, he would have
And
no end
showing
of
up as
problems. And the other anarchs and the other barons would try to take what's his.
Another Elysium, yes. But one where it is known that you are going to be declaring praxis, not a good look.
Hmm.
I would actually recommend that you make an offer to meet with any and all anarch barons in the area separately, not here at Elysium. Declare another Elysium somewhere else. I have a list of places that you should offer the Toreador as Elysium. But another Elysium, no primogen, just you and your advisors, your seneschal, your head harpy, your business manager, and if the Tremere primogen is along for moral support, who can blame anyone? You are Tremere yourself, and meet with all of the barons to get a feeling for some of them. Senor Vincent is well inclined towards you, but others may not be. We should get to know where the problem spots are now so that we can put out the flames before they start to smolder.
Also, this
Yes.
brings into an interesting point of presentation. You, as the de facto mob boss within the Camarilla, by tradition must acknowledge, and by tradition, anyone new to the city or anyone current in the city must present themselves to you for recognition and for essentially permission to live within the city.
See, without recognition, there is no status, no standing.
My job is useless until you start handing out recognition.
And what's the path of least resistance to get the recognition?
I would say holding court like Queen Elizabeth and having someone walk up to you and presenting themselves ad nauseum.
See, and
Which is
elders,
essentially what
The
most of the time
ring.
it is.
elders will present their childer, etc., etc., etc. I would expect, for example, the Ventru to show up as an amoeba and Senor Ferguson to do most of the talking as he says, these are our people, blah, 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 blah. And you just go, I recognize you all within my domain. Please follow the traditions. Thank you. Have a nice day. I have seen princes who request particularly the younger ones, to state the traditions so that you know that they are acknowledged and following them. I've also seen them go, oh, you've been here forever, you're an elder, it's just a change of government, you are automatically recognized so that the status. And along those lines, we will have to visit a couple of locations that were previously, as far as I was aware, owned by Senor Connor Lilu, because other people, he owed us, and other people who are now not welcome in the city took his life, and thus they owe us. So I think we should just go appropriate certain businesses and call it even, because we will never see those boons, ever.
Right. Right.
So we should just go clean up bits and pieces that we know of, and that is often sitting down with a human manager and
If only I had one.
allowing me to have a little chat with them.
I can arrange that. I can
Bueno.
free up Diana's schedule a little bit. Also, here's the question now. Here's the fun part, because as if things weren't already stressful enough for you, tradition of destruction, tradition of creation. No one makes another child in the city without your express permission.
Right.
See,
Is that something that should be
Otherwise,
that
the
I should
child and
state
its sire are
plainly, or
forfeit.
that it's just known because it's the tradition?
it should still be stated. While it is a tradition
Okay.
and it is technically known, it is often known in its ignorance rather than its in obeyance.
which is where the anarchs will need to be brought to heel.
How?
Hence the problem of the thin bloods.
Yeah, if there's one thing they don't
The
like, they
thin
don't
blood
like being
problem
told.
is only a problem because embracing becomes rampant when left unchecked.
Right. I'm just thinking, like, in terms of Vancouver as a whole, like, is there like an estimate of how many barons you think are potentially circulating here? Like, how many should I be?
I do not know.
Hard to
I
say.
could be 2 or 3, could be 5 or 6.
How they
Now-
carve
It
up
doesn't-
their baronies is all over the fucking place.
See,
There's no rhyme or reason.
where it comes down to is you do not go to the barons and say that you control the city and thus the tradition of creation don't to make any more chowder. What you have to do is phrase it in a way that they as anarchs will accept, which is if the population of the kindred of Vancouver grows too large, the masquerade grows too frail. And we start to have issues with the shape changers and the SI. So what they need to do is to control their people. And again, do not mention thin bloods. Do not mention, because that is a touchy subject for many. Do not mention the Caitiff, the clanless, again, another touchy subject. Just say what you have now, you need to control it so that things don't explode. Because if things grow dangerous for the masquerade, then we will have to take actions. There are going to be those who bristle at the fact that you are stating that we will take actions. Those are the ones that we want to watch. Those are the names that we will note in our book. And those are the barons that will be taken care of before we have to take actions.
I think I can bring them to heel, as Mordecai said. I think I can appeal to them in a way that they will understand. After all, I did grow up among them.
See,
Speaking
Okay.
of, now that you're Prince, have you given any thought to Karna and how we're going to make that a, for want of a better term, underground or sub movement to make the city available for adherents?
Yes, actually, Karna has been on my mind a lot recently, and how to facilitate followers being welcome in the city. Um One thing that I have actually been endeavoring to do myself before even the idea of me being Prince was a twinkle in anyone's eye was um where, like, the existing Tremere of the city, how they felt about Karna. That was my starting point. Now, Gretchen is already baked in because I've told her about that and she is amenable. But in terms of uh Junie, I don't know. She's kind of tight-lipped about that stuff. I mean, Cassius obviously doesn't like it, but I'm assuming will tolerate because of the nature of my position now. But in terms of how to bring them here, I feel like we need to make contact with Milwaukee, because that's ostensibly has been the place that she's returned to the most.
My
So,
question to you on that end would be, would they be safer here than they are in Milwaukee?
because of what I experienced with the Second Inquisition, it makes me believe that they would be safer here in Vancouver, though I know the Second Inquisition is here also. I understand that their reach is far, unfortunately. So it's my opinion that I think that they'd be safer here, but that is also something that I'd want to talk about with them back in the States, in terms of how are they feeling? Are they feeling safe? Are they, what has been their experience in the couple years since I left? I don't know what went on after I left. I don't know what Karna's movements has been. She dips into the Camarilla to stir the pot, and then she leaves again, and then she goes traveling and she's in Europe. So I'm really going to have to think back and see if I have any point of contact in Milwaukee that I could uh link up with, and see what information they have about the state of the city, really. And then based on that, possibly bring some of Karna's Milwaukee followers here, while I suss out the sympathies here in the city, which is another reason to talk to more anarchs. And I will mention that Baron Vincent did seem very interested in that. And if I can convince him to acknowledge everything that's going on here with the Camarilla, he may have a lead in path. You don't think so, Ja?
I think depending on the anarchs for anything at this point is foolish.
I'm not depending on them for anything. I'm just seeing where are the openings, where are the inroads that are already existing that we just may not know about yet, especially with these other barons that are out there. Like, Karna's reach is far, it's international. The more time goes on in Modern Nights, the more that unfolds the Tremere as they pointlessly try to reconstruct their patriarchal pyramid. Things
I
are
have a question
scattered to the
for you.
wind.
This is a random one. Would you
Go
say that
ahead.
Karna's influence is stronger than someone like Lilith's?
I I mean, in my days in Milwaukee, we did read about Lilith, but ultimately, no, I don't think Karna's influence is greater than Lilith's. Lilith goes back to the time of Cain. Oh my, okay, storyteller, I'm really gonna try not to let my love of Bahari stuff out of character like inform what you just saying, because like I know a lot about it out of character, so I'm trying not to. I have a lot of adults in a cult, so I feel like that would warrant at least some level of information about the mythology of Lilith.
Yeah, you've heard the Book of Nod slightly.
Revelations of the
Not
Dark Mother.
not as much. Like, what is your occult rating?
3.
No. Level 3
Okay,
would
so
be
I
you've read through some pieces of the Book of Nod. Level 4 would be the whole Book of Nod, and then some pieces of Revelations of the Dark Mother. And then like level 5
what
would probably be like you read both and you have some of the Eurythses fragments that you know of.
I was just about to ask about those. So okay, not haven't seen those. Okay, so I think in terms of like transporting back in character here, Jude's like, Lilith is a biblical figure. I mean, she was right there alongside Cain. I don't think someone whose influence is great, that she's occurring in uh the Jewish satirical text, the Midrashim, that was written. Like, I don't think that
I know
Karna
we're
just hasn't
getting
been around
into
long enough.
past that, but I mean to you, to the people that you know, do you think she has more influence? Because this matters.
In Modern Nights, yes, because Karna is providing something new, which is the breaking of the bonds. That was her doing. and she's the one that's here on Earth making moves now. She's here. And so yes, then her modern influence is greater than Lilith. I mean, I don't know, I haven't known many of Lilith's followers, and I certainly don't know about what's going on with that in Vancouver.
What do
Nor
you
do I.
intend to do with this cult of Karna? And why? I mean, speaking in general as Camarilla, should anyone actually acknowledge it or follow it? Particularly any of the old guard who quite like things exactly the way they are, thank you very much,
And the way they have been.
for thousands of years.
Well, they're going to have to get comfortable with the new regime, aren't they? Because they have a fledgling Tremere prince in the throne. So they're just going to have to get on board or get out.
That puts a lot of pressure on the rest of us.
I believe that was the right answer.
We're making diamonds
saying
here,
it's not.
Mordecai, okay, in this whole situation. The pressure is stacked on all of us. Sprinkle a little more on top ain't going to make a difference.
Just wondering.
That's the whole reason I'm here, is to not have things the way that they have been historically in Vancouver or otherwise. It's to not have the conservative, rigid, inflexible Camarilla domain that punishes kindred and keeps them
Do you
trapped.
honestly think that you are not going to have to call for the destruction of a kindred because it's the nicer thing to do? Or that it's something that would be a different lifestyle or way of things? Do you know what it is exactly that you've embraced here? Yes, I
And
I
I don't
admire
think
the idealization. I admire it. I admire the fervor with which you embrace Karna. I look forward to meeting this cult. But a cult it is. And it flies directly in the face of everything that we have literally done up to this point, in terms of, at least on face value, establishing, seizing, and developing praxis. If you'd mentioned the word Karna to the Venture, they would have scoffed at you. And the negotiation would have shut down. Not
that's
because
why
they're
it's not
unwilling
for
to
everybody's
negotiate, but they would
ears.
stop taking you seriously.
That's why I'm
Once it's
here
out,
playing the game
you will
right
never
now.
be able to put the lid back on top of that. I just want to make sure that you understand that. Once you mention Karna and your position as prince, there is no turning
There
back.
is no turning back from that.
Well,
It doesn't matter who you mention it to outside of this room.
I guess it's a good thing we're all immortal then and have time on our side to slowly grow our influence so I can eventually do what I want.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Maybe my
Mo-
job won't be so bad.
As they say, Rome was not built in a day. Do not try to do everything today.
I'm not.
See, and so far, everything I have seen, you have done well. The cautions Senior Strickland presents are indeed cautions. It is why a couple of us older ones are here to slow you down when you decide to dervish quickly to the music rather than dance along sedately. There are times for a waltz and there are times for a jig. And until, that time, take everything step by step. We will do it slowly. See, the Ventru would get upset if Karna was mentioned. Karna was not mentioned. Might not be for quite some time. And then when it is mentioned, we will make sure that we are in a position so if the Ventru gets upset, eh.
And Jude leans forward to look at Mordecai. And she clasps her hands in front of her. you mistake me for you mistake my idealism for softness and weakness and humanity. But trust me when I say the first destruction that I will bring to the kindred or group that crosses me, I'll fucking savor it. Trust me.
And yet, Senora Duncan, Prince Duncan, you are very close to humanity. You are, I like to say squishy because it's a fun word to say. You are soft, comparatively speaking. And this will make some think that you are weak. That is fine. There
That
is a
is fine.
reason some of us harsh old bastards are around. When comes time that you need to state that someone needs to be destroyed, we will handle that at that time. Until then, if someone shows they need to be taken care of, it may not reach your doorstep because it will be taken care of. This is why you have the seneschal that you have, and this is why you have the coterie that you have. The people that you would call, I would hope, kind of a strange little dysfunctional family. But we dysfunction very well.
And Jude like takes this all in from Duran, and her mouth is kind of just set in a hard line, and she's just staring at Mordecai, and she's like, yeah, I get that I'm soft and squishy, and that's part of my appeal, and that's part of the strategy, honestly, in presenting myself as Prince.
Yes,
But
many think that they can take advantage of you because of it.
See, that's actually
We
very,
won't let them.
very wise. People will stand up and go, hey, she's soft and squishy. Let's push her over. And while they're pushing her over, the rest of us can step up behind them and go, oh, look, you have something sharp in your kidney. Dang, that must hurt. Oh, we're very sorry. Oh, and now your head has come off your shoulders. That is a shaving accident. You should shave more
Accidents
carefully.
happen.
See,
right. And Mordecai,
it
you
is an
didn't know
interesting
me
bait.
you didn't know me before. I grew up on the harsh life of the farm, slaughtering animals. I grew up after that on the streets dealing drugs, dodging knife wounds, dealing with the most unsavory characters and predators that you can think of. I know I wasn't out, with the Peace Corps. I wasn't at in some cushy liberal arts college getting a degree in communications. I was out on the street mixing it up with any kind of person you could imagine. And I was doing the same thing in the short years that I was a kindred. And frankly, I'm kind of getting tired of you just always questioning every single thing that I fucking do.
Senora Duncan, understand it is what Senor Strickland will do. He will test you constantly. Because if you don't break with him, you won't break with the idiots out there. The same as Senor Cato will always be your threat, and he will always mention to you death as the option. And me, I'm just here. I will provide
Very
the
funny, Mr.
wardrobe
Giovanni.
so that you look good when you are doing whatever it is that you are doing.
A simple tailor.
See, a real family does not just tell you what you want to hear. We will frustrate you, no doubt, quite a bit.
I think bringing Karna to this city is a terrible idea.
Depends
I'm
on how
willing
it's
to make
done
the effort.
and when it's done.
Because it's what you want and what the coterie supports.
I think it's going to get her killed, but lots of things that I've done have probably put me in the position
Be
of
pleasantly
potentially being
surprised
killed,
if it doesn't.
and I'm still here. So, we'll see what
My
happens.
point in challenging you, Prince Jude, is because you are going to have nothing but sycophants for the rest of your tenure, however long it takes, to either usurp you, destroy you, or you become so bored with the ennui of it that you give up on your own.
I know.
I've
How
seen it
many
happen.
times are you going to give me this lecture, though?
As many
Do you
times
think
as
it's
it
more
takes for it to
effective
sink
this time than the other times? I understand I don't want sycophants. I'm not asking that from any of you.
See,
I'm just
but
asking for a shred of confidence from you, Mordecai.
I'm
Shred.
here.
See, he shows up every night. That
I'm
would
at the
be
table.
definitely confidence. He's not saying we're sycophants. He is saying that everyone else is going to be. So you need us to be harsh back,
Especially
because
with,
otherwise your ego will. Trust me, I have seen it in my family. The ego.
I'll take you down
grows.
myself if your ego gets too big. And Jaw will not be able to stop me. This I promise you, and I will let you know well in advance that your ego is becoming a little bit too much. This is why I will never address you in public as my prince.
I understand that. I agreed to that when we originally formulated. I'm not asking that from you at all. I
respect you as a friend. I do not respect the station. The station is a puppet.
See, on the other hand, Senior Strickland, she does have a bit of a point. You have gotten repetitive about it, and that gets just kind of a little boorish. And I did not take you for being someone who wears boorish well. Quite the opposite.
And I have to figure out, as all of you, I'm sure, will help me in doing, the balance between a checked ego and the appropriate show of power, forcefulness, and assertiveness.
That will bounce around.
Give Mordecai a little bit of credit. His
See.
sister did turn out to be a Sabbat bishop.
See.
I'm
And that
uniquely
is
qualified to understanding snakes in my own bedroom.
See, that is something that is a dance that will change every day. I mean, I am the first to admit that there are moments when I can be a little bit of a diva, just a little tiny bit. If you rolled your eyes any harder, you'd get double sixes. And I have not played craps in far too long. I forget whether that wins or loses. Dang it, I'm going to have to get the rolling backroom game going.
Never even been to a casino.
We're going to have to go take one so that you
They
can
seem
have one.
so depressing. Ugh.
Yeah, they have their moments of complete pitying those who are trapped in them, but they also have their moments of incredible adrenaline-inducing excitement, at least for the humans.
I could do the
Just
shows.
use
That would
Mordecai's
probably
money.
be cool.
See, the shows are excellent, and I mean, it all brings in money. That's the whole point. It's all how you fleece the sheep.
List to negotiate with.
I'm probably thinking it's the Toreador. Before we talk to the Toreador, one of the things that they are always interested in, even when the keeper is of another clan, as we have in this city with Frank, is how many Elysiums they can get away with. Besides the art gallery, I'm thinking the Museum of Anthropology makes sense. The Contemporary Art Gallery also is a good place to look at. The Museum of Vancouver, the Rennie Museum, and the Polygon Gallery, I rather like, having toured them recently myself. The Equinox Gallery and the Vancouver Public Library, even though it was blown up, I think we should see to its further reinstatement as its grand old self. I'm not sure where the humans are with fixing it. But also reinstating it as an Elysium as well. The more Elysia you scatter throughout the city, the happier the Toreador are, because they could all have a little spot for each and every one of them to show off their artwork and lord over their own little tiny domains. As far as domain goes for the Toreador, the arts district overlaps with the business district a lot, so the access through the Ventru is a smart idea. Other than that, I don't know. Give them North Vancouver.
Is there anything in North Vancouver to entice them about that domain?
Actually, there is. You'd be surprised at how much art I have found out that there is in North Vancouver, weirdly.
Okay. That's a
So
good
it,
call
it
then.
might it might be a place for them to look at developing things. It's not so expensive as downtown, so a lot of human artists have ended up out there. The Nosferatu, of course, grant them all the underground.
Sure.
The Malkavians, I would grant them West Point Grey. There are a number of mental hospitals out that way and mental
Riverview as well.
facilities. See, see, and for the Malkavians, it's not just about having access to the humans that have that are neuroatypical, but to the researchers and the doctors and the scientists that work with the mind. So they are often neglected when domain is being handed out, but Toronto, I know, did very well by the Malkavian clan by granting them several sections of the city, Queen West being one of the large chunks, and out along the lakeshore somewhere, a place that had been a hospital for those who were challenged, but had been turned into a university. An interesting
Interesting.
change in lifestyle for the buildings in the area. The Malkavians delighted in both of those. So doing a bit of research, I had found that West Point Grey, possibly the Dunbar Southlands as well, had a good clustering of these sorts of areas. The
Can I move
Tremere,
back to the Toreador for just a second?
oh, see,
Something occurred to me. Particularly, it was sort of struck my mind again as Chauncey made his appearance last evening. For the Toreador, I think it would be a very safe direction and killing of birds with stones, as it were, to safeguard the arts, the artists, and places of beauty, inspiration of some kind. And it seems to walk in a parallel path with the Fae.
I was just thinking that actually when you said that.
And I don't know exactly the connection of the freed mind Malkavian, but if you imagine places of great inspiration or great mental something, I don't know, I don't understand them. It stands to reason that they may have vested interests in safeguarding these places as well.
Okay.
that is a good point, Senior Strickland.
So you could swing it in a way where you're bestowing domain on one group, subgroup, and recognizing it when in a discussion by bestowing domain with another subgroup in another area, saying it. And I am also making efforts to safeguard X, Y, and Z because these are also places of interest. You don't have to tell them exactly who's actually going to be controlling them, just that they're being saved. And that alone will add to the prestation.
Okay, I like that
You're
idea.
making an effort that to them seems like an effort. You've already made the effort. It's nothing to you at that point. But
I
they
like
won't
the
see it.
idea of trying to, as well as this, securing these places of beauty and inspiration for the Toreador, and then offering them North Van, kind of going back to just thinking about these different places and Elysium. I think it would be a great show of good faith to help like fast track the restoration of the upper floor of the library, like Duran was saying.
Yes.
Because I think that it sort of harkens back to the previous times that people can feel like, okay, we're getting something back that was lost to us. And that goes for both the kindred and the mortals.
See,
So I
And
think
to make it
that's
even
good.
cooler, we could always toss a name on the front of it. A huge donation was given from a new philanthropist of Vancouver, Jude Duncan, or whatever mask you're going under these days.
see, See, it would also be just as easy to make the donation and put it in the name of one of the Toreador.
Yeah, I think that I think that's better than
Theaters and
putting-
opera houses as well.
See,
Yeah, I was thinking about those too.
see, we should do, yeah, see, those as well. The Tremere, have a chat with Cassius. Outside of the Chantry, I don't know that they would want any space, but if they want the space, hand them the University of BC.
That was my first thought, though. I don't know. They're pretty insular over there. I'm not honestly sure that they would want anything else, but I think if there is a concern, then the
Simon
university
Fraser as
is
well.
the logical.
See.
Sorry, what, Mordecai?
Simon Fraser. It's in Burnaby.
Simon Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that
It's much
one.
more industrial.
I know we
and
haven't talked
blockish.
too much about
UBC
this yet.
has
Oh, please.
UBC has a lot of green space around it, so I would be careful with endowing that to anyone because of potential guru.
Yeah, there's so
Slash
many
gang
parks in
roll.
this city. So many.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
just want
many.
to mention we should start thinking about our muscle. Our muscle will want things. We will need a scourge. We will need people who defend Vancouver, and it won't be us now. We can't be the people on the street. We have to have someone out there doing it for us, and they will want something. So maybe we save the universities, if for no other reason than for feeding grounds.
See, that is worth thinking about.
Yeah, we definitely need to think about just the muscle in general. Because you're right, we can't be there out on the streets defending the city like
You're
we
no
were.
longer the city's strike force.
We will still go out and kick some butt and
Oh,
raise some ruckus
yes.
from time to time. I mean, we have the
I'll go
Nagarashi
nuts
to
if I
take care
can't.
of. I'm sure that we will find other things here and there that various kindred will bring to us and say, there's a
We just have
problem.
to
What do
be
we
more
do?
picky.
See, we now get to pick our battles and
I
make sure that we are not stuffing our cheeks with too many.
I find myself feeling a strange emotion I have not felt in a long time, and that is sympathy. Particularly for yourself, Jude, and for Ja, because action is you punch first. You don't the nuance of the dance is not lost on you. It's just you have no use for anything other. Your action is the distinction, and it must be so frustrating to have your hands tied by bureaucracy.
Don't remind me, please.
But that is why Senior Strickland and I are here, because we know how to do the little shuffle behind the bonds and make sure that while you feel it stifling, I can't speak
Only
for
publicly
seniors.
so.
See, I can't speak for Senior Strickland, but I find it enticing and exciting.
I'm having lots of fun.
I'm trying to find new strengths within myself, new ways of being. That's a requirement for being in this position. I can't do things like I did in the past. I can't punch my way out of it. I understand that. That's why I'm in my spare time. I study the maps. I study the books at the Chantry of kindred history, the failings, the victories, and mortal history as well. That's why I'm trying to transform myself into a prince.
And at that point, there's a knock at the door, and it is time for the Brummagem Council meeting. So that is a good point to cut off this particular episode. So, thank you everyone for watching tonight. or whenever you happen to be watching this morning, whatever. Thank you for any bits or subs that you have sent our way. It is appreciated always. And we'll do some quick outros, and then we are going to hop over to Philly by Night over on Rolling D's 20s. So we'll throw Joanna's information up here right now, and then we will skip ahead over to Ja.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet, and you can find me here every week, Saturdays, playing Ja the Seneschal now. And then immediately following that up over at Philly by Night on Roland D's 20s channel, where I am the storyteller. I get to sit in the storyteller seat and do awful, awful things to my players, like not making them prince, because, you know, if they became princes, it would be a disaster. They don't plan like we do here. There's no plotting and machinations. I'm pretty sure they would just set the whole city on fire. And that would be not exactly what I'm looking for.
I mean,
I have faith in them.
What is that glow on the horizon? It's Philly.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
We can see it from Vancouver. That must be pretty big.
Awkward.
Cliff has the right of it. You can also find me DMing on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I just started a new campaign called Wayward Revelry. It is a Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. My cast has been excellent. I've loved it so far. We've only had one episode in, but you can catch the next episode tomorrow. So do go see that. I'm on a bunch of other shit. So instead of mentioning all of the things, just follow me on Twitter. You'll see all of them. There's more stuff on the horizon real soon. More campaigns, more things. It's going to be dope.
and Mordecai.
I've been Mordecai. I have been the thorn in the prince's side, and I will remain there indefinitely, because that's right. Anyway, you can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America on Instagram and TikTok, and CDN Captain America on Twitter, where I do mostly D&D stuff. Speaking of D&D, I am in a game on Sundays at 2 p.m. PST with Prince Sara as in the Fenland by Night game. I play a sorcerer cleric with questionable motives, not at all related to Mordecai, just because they're both slightly reptilian. Doesn't matter. On Tuesdays at 6 p.m. PST, I Dungeon Master my own game of D&D 5th edition Would-Be Heroes, starring, among others, Storyteller Steve as a dragonborn with a beard. Tune in to find out why. And other than that, I occasionally guest, lately anyways, as a let's call it questionable motive what is it with me and questionable motive characters? Anti-hero.
You're just sketchy.
Slash wow.
The shade.
Antagonist in the Changeling game. I may eventually be back, who knows? Depends on how bored of a lull that the Changeling motley gets into, and they're like, oh, we've got nothing else to do now, and that's when you'll least expect it. Other than that, I don't know, I just have a 3D printing thing going on and then everything else, and that's about it for me for now.
Prince Jude.
Hey, I'm Sara. I played Prince Jude Duncan. You can find me on Twitter at MC Diabetes. I'm also a creative partner at Martlet Games. We have several things in production, a couple things wrapping up, a couple things getting started. So you can be looking forward to a robust schedule of actual plays of Vampire and Beyond very soon. As Mike said, I'm normally in the Phandalin by Night D&D 5e campaign in the Lost Minds of Phandelver module. But tomorrow is the Jasper Game Day. 12-hour stream where you will see me. We are on a boat in a pirate D&D one shot. I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be a ton of fun, as are all the games that are occurring on that day. So please
totally
support us.
One.
Yeah, so please come here to Vancouver on Sunday for many hours of fun games. Other than that, you can forward to me in the storyteller seat a couple times this year in various vampire games, including the final season of the historical chronicle London's Bleeding. We're just about to start filming, so very excited. Um, I believe that is more or less it for me. Just follow me on Twitter and you will see what I'm doing. One last thing before I forget. March 5th, this Saturday, I know most of you will be here for the Vampire Takeover, but if you're wanting a little pivot from the normal Vampire Takeover at some point, you can check out the Mondo Kane Takeover of Weave the Tale, where we'll be playing Night Witches, which is about the Russian pilots during World War II, all of the women who are out there bombing Nazis in the night.
In wooden planes.
That's right.
Whoa.
So we're doing the Night Witches game in the Powered by the Apocalypse system. I'm really excited for that. All femme cast and producer top to bottom. It's going to be really good. And you'll be able to catch that on a bot as well. So thank you. That's it for me.
And Duran.
Happy time zone, folk. My name is Cliff. I played Duran Giovanni this evening, the guy who just making shirts and suits and stuff. No plotting or scheming or anything going on here. I mean, it's all actually been worked out in his books ages ago. I don't have to scheme anymore. I'm just reading the script. You can find me here on Saturdays as part of the Vampire Takeover with this incredibly fun bunch. Last Wednesday, there was no Changeling game because not bad things this time. You know, when good things happen in real life, sometimes you got to take a break too. And several of our players got to have the night off and relax. But next game coming up will be a really, really excellent game. If you want to find out who the Cat's Pajamas is, you have to make it to the next game. Wednesday night at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. As well, if you can't get enough of me being a storyteller type, tomorrow, they've been mentioning Jasper's Game Day. I get to start off Jasper's Game Day with a game at noon Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, with Ghouls in Space, where I get to take 5 Simise ghouls and put them on a spaceship, and let's see what fun the plot has got in store for them. I've already met with the players. They are amazing players, and they've actually independently created a crew of 6 ghouls that would actually work in a book. Everything is balanced and working. I don't know what the heck's going on. This perhaps presages strange things for the storyteller, but fortunately in space there are no raccoons except in what's his name, Guns universe. So I mean we're safe there. Other than that, you can find my link tree over there. And we'll see y'all when we see y'all.
God damn it, Prince. Prince just put something in the chat that I am not going to repeat. And I am Storyteller Steve. So we are doing the Jasper's Game Day tomorrow. So after you go over to Rolling These 20s in just a few minutes, head back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST, which is going to be an early morning for me. And we're going to start off with the Ghouls flight out with storyteller Cliff, and we've got some special guests. I believe that special guest is Fair from Rolling These 20s.
Yep. Oh, I'm so excited to have her along.
We have a bunch of other special guests that day. Some of them include Jennifer Kretschmer from various amazing D&D stuff. We've got Obo Lauren popping in, and we have Noir Enigma. He will be in the tail end game, which is me. I will be running a vampire game, and it will be titled Jaws Night Out for no apparent reason whatsoever. We'll see what happens when Jaw decides to,
schmooze with the commoners.
Round up some of the younger kindred in the city and help them out a little bit.
Oh no. What?
So we're gonna hop you over to Rolling These 20s right now. Thank you again for any bits, any subscriptions, and we will see you tomorrow bright and early for me For the East Coasters, pop in around noon, and we're going to have a good time. Raise some money for Jasper's Game Day. One more thing on that, I will put the link in the chat, so any donation of $10 or more will get you entered into a draw that we will draw on Tuesday at the tail end of our D&D game, which is for a mini that's about yay big. It's the size of a small cat. It's a red dragon mini that is hand painted by Balshare, and
That's what she was doing tonight.
Yeah, that's the one she was doing tonight.
Tonight meaning Monday.
Yeah, meaning Monday. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it is huge, and it looks amazing. We've seen some of the stuff that she's painted on it so far, and it's gonna be great. So, donate if you can. Help spread the word if you can't. And dice. We have dice apparently as well. So, all right. There's
merch up. There's stuff in
Dice.
There are giveaways.
Yeah, there are giveaways. We are almost at
Like
the
and
first
subscribe.
giveaway, which is for a $30 Talon and Claw gift card. So donate if you can, help spread the word if you can't, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.